YouTube? It's your boy 41 Pop, and we back with another video. Rubi Rose tried to embarrass Drewski. Let's get into it.
Critiquing. Yeah, the last thing what's poppin', y'all? Rubi Rose, when we talk about her, it's never about music. I don't even remember the last time she released music that we paid attention to. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pop open Spotify and see if she dropped anything as of late. Because, you know, we can't just hate just to hate. Although we're not hating on Rubi Rose here. We are justifiably critiquing. Yeah,
you hating a little bit. You hating.
Last thing she dropped got 330,000 streams, which is not terrible, but it dropped May 17th, 2024. I will say that's impressive is definitely the wrong word, but that's not bad. If she consistently released, she might have a fan base. But she decided to go on full bird brain mode and go on Twitter saying the following. And for the record, I never slept with that man. He paid for PR, not the cat. Peace.
Yeah, I don't understand why she did this if he paid for it.
Emoji. He is funny and nice, though. This is, oh my goodness. Talk about backhanded compliment. I feel like with the backhanded compliment, that usually comes first, and there.
I love Roblox, but I don't have.
With the backhanded compliment, that usually comes first, and there's no exposal. You just don't know if it's actually a compliment or not. This, you clearly got smacked upside the head, and she's like, oh yeah, nice guy though. Okay? I only give it up if I'm in love. I don't care how much money a guy got. I'm rich as F.
Yeah, but it still don't make no sense. It was probably like, maybe something they had fell through.
Well, sincerely, we don't care, Rubi Rose. And this is in reference to Drewski. Drewski, famous comedian, actor, skit maker. We can't just call him like a straight up comedian. I think he's not a straight up stand up comedian. I don't know if we've seen him do much stand up comedy, but he puts on shows. So he's an entertainer, comedian, entertainer. He puts on these shows. He does these live streams, could have been records. Funny guy. I've never really watched more than one or two of his skits. However, I have seen him do the could have been records thing. Like the role that he plays, the character that he plays is very entertaining. But recently, earlier this year, or maybe even late last year. No, it was earlier this year. They were in a quote unquote relationship. Like she was slobbering all over the dude's mouth. And the first instinct that most of us had was, nah, this ain't real. It just didn't really make sense. Yet.
Right. It was just random, too, like out of the left.
She thinks that people believed it. So she starts putting this out, which is a little bit embarrassing. Not for Drew.
Listen, no one believes it. Nobody believed it. No one cared.
Drewski at all. Nope.
We just thought you was gonna come out with like maybe it's a music or a song, or you wanna be on one of his TV shows or something. Like no one really cared.
Nobody looked at Drewski and said, "This guy's a loser." Drewski posts something on his IG that says "Love don't cost a thing," and it's just a funny reply to the whole situation. But she's the one that looks like a bird brain and a loser. And I will say that this reminds me of the Rihanna incident with Travis Scott. So if you guys recall, some of you may not, almost 10 years ago, Travis Scott was dating Rihanna. This is right before the Rodeo album released. So
I ain't gonna lie, I forgot all about this.
2015. And if you remember, there was a picture of Rihanna holding up like 5 Rodeo album CDs that she had bought at Best Buy. But this relationship was quite secretive. And someone broke the news, a Complex editor. And he said, I broke the news about him and Rihanna, which they told me not to do. This was in 2015, 16, I wrote this. But apparently for the next couple of years, Travis would complain about that. Lawrence went on to admit that while Travis was angry about it, he believed that it was Rihanna who truly wanted to keep the relationship private. It's not because Travis is like, don't tell anyone I'm smashing Rihanna. It's because Rihanna's like, don't tell anyone that I'm smashing Travis Scott. Please. It's obviously embarrassing as hell. Now, Rihanna didn't go out and publicly, because Rihanna isn't a bird brain, or at least doesn't want to make it public. So Rihanna's not going to come out and say this because she would also have to admit that she was dating Travis Scott, which she didn't want to come out. But this is one of those situations where she was embarrassed. But for Rubi Rose, if you're paid to fake this relationship, are you allowed to say it's fake after? I don't get it. And the whole, like you can't pay for my cat, I'm already rich. You were slobbering on the dude's like mouth. Like what? As far as I'm concerned, sure, it's not the exact same thing, but that's just that.
He sounds more offended than Drewski, I ain't gonna lie.
It's gross that you can get paid to do that. And if Ruby Rose is already rich, how much did it cost for this? Because I will say this did bring up Drewski. This was a worthwhile investment for Drewski, and I like to see more of these types of things. It brought him more of a female audience, which he already had some of.
Exactly. That's the reason why he did it.
But that drama female audience was paying attention to him more with this Ruby Rose saga. Now, I don't think those girls or women that followed the Ruby Rose Drewski relationship necessarily liked Ruby Rose. I think they just like to see the development of that type of relationship. It's like reality TV for them. It's content. And that's what they enjoy, not anyone in particular. But my question is, what causes Ruby Rose to say something like this? I just don't get it. Ruby Rose is still, I think she's like, what, 24, 25? She's really not old yet. She's been around and she's been passed around the entire industry. I don't know if you guys remember that image that people had of choose the rapper that Ruby Rose was with. Like, Ruby Rose has clearly been in love a lot of times because
tailgates are better.
This has clearly been in love a lot of times because a lot of rappers have ran through that. And that's not to disrespect Ruby Rose, although it can be taken whichever way she pleases. But I just want to know what spurred Ruby Rose to put this out. There had to be something going on behind the scenes. It had to be a comment that triggered her. There's no way you just come out of nowhere with this. Nobody believed this, number one, and nobody's going to look at you less for having like gotten smashed by Drewski. You've already gotten smashed by like 40 other rappers. So it's not anything new that you got to compete.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
You know? And the thing is, the level of quote unquote respect that you lose, which is her assumption, I guess, by making out with the dude and being in a fake relationship with him for money is the same level of respect you would lose for having smashed him and been in a real relationship with him. If like the respect was even lost in the first place. I'm talking about this from how she's probably interpreting the situation. So all in all, there's really nothing here for her to be upset about. Yet she decides to let everyone know. Like, thanks a lot, Ruby Rose. We appreciate the PSA. And it's unfortunate because Ruby Rose started off like skyrocketing, right? Music video with Offset and Lil Uzi Vert. She was also in that Rory music video, Cigarette Song. So she was on the up and up with Ian Connor, with Playboi Carti, with Travis Scott. Now, what age she was when those things happened, I have no idea. Doing a lot of different things. She even had a rap song at one point. And then where does she end up after having a crazy head start? In OnlyFans with the rest of these chicks. Now, maybe Ruby Rose isn't getting smashed on there. I have no idea what she's doing on there. And yeah, she's probably making a ton of money. But you ended up in the same gutter that chicks that never had the opportunities and access to fame.
Hey, man, she making that moolah, though. You gotta remember that. Much as you...
Fame that you had. Like, she couldn't lock down a guy that was going to take care of her. She couldn't become a personality. Well, if we're being honest, man, Ruby Rose's personality is bland. It's boring. Like, she couldn't be a Black China. She could not be a Amber Rose. She could not
I think he got a personal beef with Ruby. I don't know, man.
be I don't know, an Ari, right?
I don't know. Ruby compared to Black China, I think Ruby's still more entertaining than. I don't know. Black China, maybe it's because Black China just annoys me. I don't know.
Right? Because these chicks,
Maybe.
even an Ari, right? Ari Emanuel, I think is that her last name? She's not on OF throwing it back like Ruby Rose is. Or is she? I don't think so. Yeah, she's doing her own thing.
Lil Tyler begged to differ. Lil Tyler, what? Lil Tyler about to make you in the next rap song.
And got her own bag and doing whatever the hell she's doing. But Ruby Rose is on there. So that just goes to show Ruby Rose had all of the things afforded to her. She could have gone in any other direction. She even had a song that was performing well. It's got like over 30 million streams. Ruby Rose was on the cover of Double XL. She was a Double XL freshman, and she fumbled all of this to go back and end up in the gutter. This shit just goes to show you that. I think she's a college graduate too. I don't know how that happened. But this just goes to show you that
my boy here.
Ruby Rose must be a bird brain. She must have like an egglet for brains and is incapable of doing anything else, and also doesn't have the entertaining personality for people to follow her and for her to have a career in anything other than lust, which is a little bit pathetic. Now, there are some who their main draw is lust, but what keeps people there is something else. Ruby Rose, yeah, it's kind of sad now that I went down this little monologue and explored it a bit.
Hey, he does make a point though. He does have a point. Not a great rapper. She doesn't act. I could see her acting though. Like, I don't know why she don't get into acting. Realistically, he does have a point. Looks don't last forever. He does have a point.
Further, I never really thought about it like that. Every other rap girl has not ended up in OF. Now, sure, like Black China, I think she's on there, or maybe like now she's with the Lord, quote unquote. Amber Rose, I don't know if she's on there, but I'm saying that they went on there when they were washed up, not when they were in their prime. Ruby Rose went on there.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
When she was in her prime, and some will say probably, oh, like she cashed out at the right time. And
what was Amber Rose prime? For real, for real. I feel like she's in her prime now. Like, what was her prime before? Like dating Kanye West, or being Wiz Khalifa's baby mother? Like, that's not her prime. Like, her prime is now, I feel. Same thing with Black China. Black China had a good little, I don't know what Black China known for. Being with Tiger, right? Black China was supposed to be like a rapper. She was supposed to be like Nicki Minaj. She looked like Nicki, but she couldn't rap like Nicki. That was the problem. I think this dude he might be on the younger side. He might be a little confused.
And now she's set for life. Yeah, true, but set to be what? That music is definitely not coming through. And I will continuously stomp on the dead corpses of everybody that hated on me for clowning Ruby Rose for being a double XL freshman. Because I got a lot of hate for that.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie. You kind of hating, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. You still hating. She ain't gonna be the best rapper. I don't think she was never going to be the best rapper. Absolutely not. He was hoping she did something great, but other than that, y'all still like her, so y'all fault.
Oh, like that. That's misogynistic. Really? What has she done since? Please, let me know. She's the most failed double XL freshman of all time. Music.
I beg to differ. There's more. There's more. And they still pull out way more music, and they suck. So there's way more that's failed. I feel like at the end of the day, she's not the best rapper, but she's in her own lane. I think she should go to acting, realistically. It doesn't mean you failed. It's a different lane. All right? Peace.